5 days. That's all it took. Why did Kang wait until now to speak, and why did he choose her? After months of silence and endless speculation, the truth has finally surfaced. Kang has gone public with Yoo Jung. And the timing has everyone talking. Is this pure coincidence? Love story written long before his return? Tonight, Red Carpet Revealed uncovers the truth behind the headlines. Let's find out what really happened when Kang broke his silence. The gates opened to the flash of 100 cameras. Being drizzled down the army base pavement, mixing with the silver sparks of photographers' bulbs as Sergeant Jin Heeman, now a free man, stepped out into the noise. He smiled. That same half-crooked smile that had melted hearts before he traded red carpets for camouflage, and for a split second, the world seemed to hold its breath. 5 days later, that same smile would ignite a storm no one saw coming. For months, fans had waited for this moment. They counted days on social media, posted countdown banners, and replayed his old dramas to fill the silence. When he finally appeared in uniform, neat and calm, they expected a comeback announcement, not a confession. Yet the story that unfolded after his discharge wasn't about music, or film, or fame. It was about love. And Red Carpet Revealed was there from the very first whisper. It began within hours. Someone posted a grainy photo of a black car waiting outside the base. Someone else swore they saw Sora, Korea's beloved eternal heroine, in the driver's seat. Within minutes, hashtags erupted, human ice back. Sora spotted, 5 days and boom. The internet doesn't sleep. And neither did we. By dawn, Heeman's agency tried to extinguish the flames. He met a friend briefly after discharge. Please respect his privacy. But the damage, or perhaps the miracle, was already done. Fans began stitching timelines, comparing jewelry, coding old interviews. They noticed how Sora had once called him my quiet strength in a 2021 awards speech. They remembered that both had starred in Whisper of the Stars, a romantic drama whose final scene ended with a line. "Us me will meet when the world forgets us." That line suddenly felt prophetic. In the days following his discharge, Heeman stayed quiet. No posts. No live streams. Only one blurry paparazzi photo, him leaving a small cafe near the Han River, cap pulled low. Behind him, unmistakable even under a mask, was Sora. They weren't holding hands. But the distance between them was the kind that only exists when two people are used to being closer. When the photo hit midnight feeds, it detonated. It's real. 5 days and already together. Did they date before the enlistment? Theories multiplied faster than agencies could deny them. But what made this story burn hotter than any other was not the possibility of love, it was the timing. 5 days. Barely enough for his uniform to be folded away. In a culture where discretion is survival, Jin Heeman had broken an unspoken rule. He had chosen honesty over image. By the third day, his silence broke, not through a press conference, but through a handwritten note posted on his official fan cafe. The scanned paper showed faint creases, as if folded and unfolded many times. There are moments in life when hiding feels heavier than truth. I've met someone who made every day worth waiting for. I don't want to keep her a secret. Please understand this as a beginning, not a scandal. The internet imploded. Comments flooded in, half disbelief, half awe. Some called it reckless. Others called it the bravest confession in years. Within hours, Sora's agency confirmed with a single sentence. Yes, they are seeing each other with sincere feelings. Just like that, the country that worshipped restraint found itself addicted to candor. Red Carpet Revealed spent the next week tracing the timeline behind that note. We spoke to stylists, co-actors, and even the cafe owner whose quiet shop had become the epicenter of a national conversation. They were polite, soft-spoken. The owner recalled. He ordered black coffee, she had green tea. They sat by the window. 10 minutes, they didn't speak. They just looked at the rain. Those 10 minutes, now immortalized in speculation, had apparently been months in the making. For enlistment, Jin Heeman had vanished from the public eye for a different reason, exhaustion. At the height of his career. Collapsed during a fan meeting in Tokyo. Later, in a hospital corridor, witnesses heard him say, "Maybe I need to disappear before I forget who I am." That was the last statement he made before the uniform replaced the designer suits. When Sora visited him during basic training, under the guise of filming a morale Boosting documentary, few realized it wasn't their first encounter since the drama. According to a staff member, their eyes met. Camera went silent for a full minute. It was like watching a memory trying to find its way home. Now, 5 days after the army gates closed behind him, that memory had stepped back into the light. The aftermath was predictable chaos. Sponsors paused campaigns. Magazines scrambled for covers. Fandoms fractured between heartbreak and happiness. Through it all, Heeman remained quiet, perhaps trusting the same silence that had once saved him. Meanwhile, Sora continued filming her upcoming series The Glass Garden, refusing interviews but smiling faintly whenever reporters mentioned his name. By midweek, the tide began to turn. Instead of outrage, curiosity softened into admiration. Posted photos under the tag 5 days off courage. Fans wrote messages like, "It's been decades since anyone in this business dared to tell the truth." Still, beneath the public fairy tale, whispers of tension began surfacing. Some insiders claimed Heeman's decision blindsided his management, others said he had informed no one, not even Sora. Before releasing the letter, he wrote it at 2 a.m. Source close to him told Red Carpet revealed. He sealed it with a signature and sent the file to his manager only after posting it. He wanted to make the choice himself, maybe for the first time in his career. For years, Jin Heeman had been the model idol, disciplined, careful, uncontroversial, calculated. Every word approved. But love, it seemed, had cracked the algorithm. One night later, new footage surfaced, shaky, low quality, but undeniable. Small charity concert held privately for veterans. Resembling Heeman took the stage unannounced. And hesitated. Then played a slow piano intro. He sang a few lines from his unreleased song Letters from Nowhere. "I walked out free, but I ran to you. Left the march, but your heartbeat led the way." Crowd of 50 people clapped politely, unaware that they were witnessing the moment a global headline turned into a love song. That recording reached us the next morning. To it in the editing room. I felt the hair on my arms rise. This wasn't scandal, it was sincerity. His voice cracked midway. But he finished smiling, the same way he had smiled through every battle he couldn't explain. By the end of that week, agencies released a joint statement asking for peace. They are thankful for the support. Please allow them to experience this new chapter privately. Privacy, once lost, is rarely returned. Every cafe, every studio, every airport became a potential sighting ground. And yet, something about this story felt different from the usual whirlwind of celebrity gossip. There was no denial, no backtracking, no polished press conference tears. Just two people standing in a storm they had chosen together. As Red Carpet revealed followed the threads. We uncovered letters exchanged during his enlistment, not romantic in tone, but full of shared thoughts about art and loneliness. In one, Sora wrote, "You'll hear 1,000 voices when you come back. But don't forget the quiet one inside you." Maybe that was the sentence that led to everything. Because when he returned, the first thing he did was listen to that quiet voice, and it told him to speak. Now, the nation that once doubted love had started to believe again. The story of a soldier and an actress had become a parable of courage. And yet, behind the applause, remained. What would this mean for their careers? Could love survive the machinery of fame? As one industry insider whispered to us, hardest part isn't falling in love. It's staying honest when everyone profits from your silence. And that was where our investigation would go next. Because while the public saw romance, the industry saw rebellion. While fans saw hope, executives saw risk. Somewhere between those perspectives lay the real truth about Jin Heeman and Han Sora, a truth we weren't ready to stop chasing. What began as 5 days of headlines was becoming a test of authenticity in an age built on illusion. This is Red Carpet Revealed. This is only the beginning. The storm that had swallowed the headlines finally began to ease. 2 weeks after the letter that shattered silence, Seoul's skyline looked the same. But something in the air had changed. The noise had dulled. Frenzy had given way to curiosity. Then to something softer, acceptance. First time in years, Jin Heeman was walking through the city without a disguise. He wasn't alone. Beside him, Han Sora wore a beige cap and the quiet confidence of someone who had already made peace with the world's gaze. They strolled through a riverside market where no one expected to see them. Some fans gasped, A few whispered. Most simply smiled and let them be. The photo that later surfaced wasn't scandalous or staged, just two people sharing tteokbokki under a gray sky, laughing over something small. It was almost boring. And that was its magic. The newsroom of Red Carpet revealed. We watched those new images roll in. This isn't a headline anymore. Someone murmured. It's history. After years of scripted denials and shadowed romances, Korea's golden actor had turned love into an act of honesty. The agencies confirmed that both would continue working. No projects had been cancelled. The shock had burned itself out, all that remained was warmth. Yet Heeman's world hadn't simply reset. The price of truth had been heavy. Two endorsement deals quietly withdrew. Read about audience focus. A director replaced him in a historical epic, claiming scheduling conflicts. But the loss that stung most was the one he couldn't explain publicly, a mentor who texted only 3 words, "You changed first." He read the message once, deleted it. Went back to set. Han Soren noticed. Taking a break from her drama shoot, she sent him a photo of her script covered in coffee stains with a caption, "Mistakes make it real." He laughed for the first time that day. It was how they communicated through the storm, small messages, gentle reminders that normalcy could exist even under scrutiny. By the 3rd week, public sentiment shifted completely. The Korea Daily published an opposite the editorial page titled "The 5-Day Revolution," praising them for redefining what love in the spotlight could mean. Social networks turned their confession into a meme of courage. One viral post read, "He didn't return to chase fame, he returned to chase peace." She met him halfway. Still, Red Carpet revealed kept digging for the quieter truth. How were they really coping behind those smiles? A close friend of Sora's, speaking on condition of anonymity, said, "She's happier. But she's also protective. She told me, if I lose him to the noise, I'll never forgive myself." Meanwhile, a crew member on Heeman's new film described him as lighter. "It's like he's finally breathing." When she visits the set, he doesn't hide, he waves. Their courage began inspiring others. 2 younger idols confirmed relationships soon after, openly citing the Heeman Sora example. Agencies, once allergic to honesty, quietly discussed rewriting media policies. The producer told us, the public matured overnight. Maybe they were just waiting for someone brave enough to treat them like adults. Heeman's first public appearance since the confession came at a veterans charity gala. Cameras filled the hall. Reporters ready for missteps. But when he took the stage, he didn't dodge the subject. He smiled into the lights and said, "During service, I learned discipline. After service, I learned freedom. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want, it's telling the truth and still being loved for it." The room erupted in applause. And the most jaded columnists stood to clap. Later that night, Sora posted a single emoji and nothing more. Trended for 12 hours. Behind the spectacle, the two built something quieter. Every Sunday, they escaped to the outskirts of Namyangju, where cherry blossom petals still littered the ground even in late summer. There, they cooked, read scripts aloud, and futures that didn't revolve around premieres or ratings. Friends who visited said it felt like stepping into a bubble of calm. They talk about ordinary things, groceries, recipes. What time to water the plants, one said. It's surreal to see them laugh about burnt rice. Red Carpet revealed. This wasn't the ending we expected. We began chasing scandal, we found sincerity. We had prepared to document fallout, not forgiveness. Yet the deeper we observed, the clearer it became, this wasn't rebellion for attention, it was a reclamation of self. 3 months after the revelation, both stars returned to work at full speed. Heeman's new film The Silent March premiered to record numbers, critics praising its emotional rawness. Sora's drama finale drew global attention. In a press conference, when asked how she balanced love and fame, she paused, smiled, and replied, "Balance isn't found, it's built. One honest day at a time." Both became a headline on its own. Still, the couple kept one boundary sacred, their private moments. They stopped updating fans about dates or vacations, choosing to let the story rest. The world, surprisingly, respected that wish. Maybe because everyone understood the journey now, from secrecy to confession, from chaos to calm. They had given the audience closure, and in return, the audience gave them space. From all of us at Red Carpet Revealed, thank you for joining us through every twist, every secret, and every heartbeat of this story. Began with curiosity. We traveled through chaos. Ended with something simple, the reminder that love, in any form, is courage. To our readers, viewers around the world, your passion, empathy, and open hearts give these stories their light. Thank you for believing that honesty still matters, and that behind every headline, there's a human story worth hearing. The next revelation. Stay kind, stay curious. Never stop looking for the truth beneath the glitter. Red Carpet Reveal Team.